Somebody asked about sleep and how important it is in chronic pain. Well, there's absolutely no doubt that sleep is utterly vital in the control of chronic pain. The length of sleep does not equate to quality. So you can sleep 8 hours and wake up feeling utterly exhausted. So how do you measure quality in your sleep? And what we know is that if you do an EEG, which is put electrodes all over your brain, and then you go to sleep and you watch what happens to your brain waves as you sleep, when you're awake you've got very disordered, what are called beta waves. They're all over the place. As you drift into the first stage of sleep, which is just in that subliminal zone before you're about to go to sleep, your brain mainly has what are called alpha waves, which are just regular waves, and these are the same sort of function that occurs when you're meditating or if you're under hypnosis. So it's a very relaxed state of mind. As you drift down further, you go into stage 2 sleep, which is dream sleep, and this is called REM sleep, where if you measure or watch, you can see your eyes flicking. Well, somebody else can see your eyes while you're asleep, flicking underneath your lids, and you're dreaming. So REM is rapid eye movement sleep. It's still largely alpha rhythm with little other bits that occur with the movement of your eyes and your brain. As you drift down further into sleep, you move into stage 3 and then 4, and then some very lucky people 5. Now, in stage 4 and 5, you have theta waves, which are very long, slow waves. And in this state, you could have a bomb explode next to you and you won't wake up. And if you spend a certain period of time, don't need very long, in this state, in stage 4 or 5 sleep with theta waves, you will wake up feeling wonderfully refreshed. So the big secret of quality of sleep is that you move from, firstly you get off to sleep, and then secondly you move from rapid eye movement sleep into these deeper levels. Usually there's a cycle that starts. You start awake and then you drift down, and if you're lucky you get down to those deep levels and then you come up again. The length of time of this sleep cycle is about 90 to 120 minutes. And so when you're younger, you drift into the sleep and then you kind of just drift up, almost awake, and then you drop down again. But you can be easily woken at that in the phase between each sleep cycle. As you get older, often you'll wake up and you may become aware of discomfort, and you wake up, you may get up and go to the loo and then come back and struggle to go back to sleep. So the first thing is that you really want quality of sleep, which is more important than quantity. So the question is, how can you help if you live with pain? And often what happens is you are hanging out, you're just exhausted through the day, you get to bed and you just lie there and you think, oh, all I need is some sleep. And then, because you're sore, you toss and you turn, and because of your mood, because one of the difficult things, if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling anxious or down, then it's much more difficult to even enter into the alpha rhythm part of sleep, never mind the deeper levels. You toss and turn, and basically you run a marathon overnight. And by the time you get up in the morning, you run your marathon, and you're exhausted, and you're in pain, you're tired, and it creates a vicious cycle, almost a vicious spiral. You end up going down the plug hole. So there are some very commonsensical things that you can do to help yourself get off to sleep, and you create what's called sleep hygiene. So the first thing is you go and do some exercise of an evening, if you possibly can. If you have late evenings, it's great. You can go for quite a good walk, Or if it's dark, then what you can do is use something like an exercycle or cross trainer or some gizmo to actually do some aerobic exercise to burn off excess stored energy. The excess stored energy is the sort of thing that stress creates, and there's a whole lot of stuff in your body and in your mind. And if you exercise, you will burn off that and you will create endorphins. So now you're feeling more relaxed, and you then, from that, you go and you have a hot bath or shower. So now your body's in a very relaxed state of mind, and you climb straight into a lovely warm bed, which you've prepared before. And on the side of the bed, there is a nice warm drink, and that warm drink can contain a number of either just milk. Interestingly, milk itself, because of the calcium, is a natural sedative. Milk with maybe Milo or some kind of cocoa drink can just be a very simple natural sedative. Also, what you can do is you can use a number of herbs, and there are a number of sedating herbs. The chamomile is one that's used very commonly. Probably the best of all the sedating herbs is valerian. So you can go and get some valerian from a health food store, from a pharmacy. Then, if you can you can look at other mixtures, and there's something called 5-HT, 5-hydroxytryptophan. And 5-hydroxytryptophan is the building block of serotonin, and serotonin is what makes us feel good, makes us feel relaxed. It's a neurotransmitter, something working inside your brain. So you can get a mixture. There are a number of mixtures where you'll find they've added in a little bit of chamomile, a little bit of valerian, some 5-hydroxytryptophan, maybe some kava, which is a very interesting relaxing herb that's used in Fiji, and others. And these are very, very safe, and really can sometimes be quite effective, as long as you add them into the sleep hygiene I've talked about. The next step in terms of medication is that you can go down and get a sedating antihistamine. And I'm using here what are called generic terms, because the name of a drug, there's a generic name which is used all around the world, and then there are actual drug names, which is what the company calls their drugs, and they're different in different companies and countries. So I'll be using just the generic. Phenergan is a very old and excellent and safe sedating antihistamine. So if you feel irritable and uncomfortable and itchy, what Phenergan will do is it will help all that, plus it helps you sleep. It's non-addictive, certainly worthwhile, and to some degree helps with pain. One step further is to actually use, you need to talk to your doctor about this, but specific medications, and the most commonly used for chronic pain are two, which are part of, they were the first antidepressants that were discovered in the 1950s, and these are amitriptyline and nortriptyline. They were used in high doses, 75 to 150 milligrams in the beginning. They were much too sedating, but they surprisingly found that they were excellent for pain. So what you do is you use, instead of 75 or 150 milligrams, you use 10 to 20. You take it early in the evening, because it takes a little while to kick in. Amitriptyline is more sedating than nortriptyline, and what these do is that these will work centrally on your brain. They will reduce the amplifiers in your brain. They relax your brain, they relax your muscles, and so very beneficial. They are not habit forming. If you say take 10 milligrams of amitriptyline, you wake up in the morning feeling hungover, you just take it earlier in the evening. So these are really, really useful medications and can be stopped and started as you wish. So very, very useful. Thank you.